Morning everybody, and welcome to my video about hot flushes. It's the hottest day of the year today, so I decided that I would get outside and do my video from the garden. Typically though, it might be a bit noisy because of course there's building works going on, so if you do hear a few bangs, apologies for that. So I suppose a bit of an update before I start on the subject of hot flushes. It was the last day of radiotherapy on Friday, and quite an emotional day really, as I finished all active treatments. So I didn't think I was going to get upset, but as I walked out of the hospital I was very emotional, and it was quite sad really that it was something that had to be done on my own in some respects. So you know, to share it with David and my parents and my close friends was something that I did actually try and do by phone as I got in the car. But it was a very memorable day, lots of lovely surprises. Some close friends did a little drive past with banners and Walking on Sunshine music blaring out of the cars like a little carnival, which was a lovely surprise and really did make it a memorable day considering we are still in lockdown. The whole week went really smoothly, very straightforward, no real concerns, very quick. And now I'm on Wednesday, so finished on Friday, it's now Wednesday. I must say that the tiredness disappeared really when the treatment stopped, and I haven't felt hugely fatigued since. And also I'm not experiencing at the moment any major problems with my skin. I am expecting to be at my worst on Friday, but so far nothing at all is giving me cause for concern. Just a couple of things, I suppose. This is the cream that the hospital gave me to use, and you can get this on prescription in a massive bottle. So I started to use this last week during the treatment. I have moved back though to my Tropic products. So I'm using a Awaken the Senses Luxury Body Oil, which I'm putting on every morning, and then I'm using this in the evening. But I'm also using another Tropic product called Healing Balm, which comes in a very lovely box here. But at the moment both of those products seem to be okay. I'm not having any adverse effects from them, so I'm going to keep using them, but it's always good to make sure, start with what they're prescribing, I think, or you know, something similar, and then experiment. So today is all about hot flushes. So it's the one thing, the one side effect for me that has just been there right from the very beginning, and the one that is the trickiest to solve really. And having a job where I am constantly on Skype talking to people, it can be quite an embarrassing problem as well. And I'm sure as we move back to normal life and do more face-to-face meetings, it is going to be something that probably is there in the background when I am working. And a lot of people have spoken to me about trying to look at it in a more positive light and not seeing it as a hot flush but a tropical moment, and that I have been doing, but you can't take away from the fact that, you know, you are sitting there in front of somebody and your forehead is dripping with sweat, which just isn't a very nice thing to look at. So I've tried a few things, some successes, some not. I feel that it's one of those things that you know, you either live with or you go to the doctor and see what they can prescribe for you. A couple of things that I have been doing is journaling and trying to notice if there are particular triggers that set them off. What I do find is having coffee in the afternoon can sometimes set them off and make them worse in the evening. Drinking alcohol, They do say that eating spicy food can do it as well, which I've not really noticed any patterns with that. I have also been trying some different clothing. So there is a company called Become, which actually create sort of a kind of a fabric that as soon as you have your hot flush, it kind of kicks in like a cooling mechanism that cools you down. So I've actually bought some nightwear in that fabric. It does cool me down a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's that much different to wearing my, pajamas really. But it might be something worth having a look at. They do t-shirts, sportswear, and they do a really good closed Facebook group which talks about menopause and working through menopause. Also looking at bedding, so I've not done a lot about that yet, but that's something that I'm going to start to think about. Maybe there is particular, and I think Become, the brand, also does particular types of sheets that might help, and you can get things like Chillo pillows which cool you down, which I haven't bought yet, which I probably will look at in the summer months. Getting a fan is a good idea, and I know some of my friends who have menopause symptoms anyway have even got the really nice old-fashioned manual fans, but fans are a good idea, and there's lots of different technical wizardry out there that you can buy, which I have had a look at. I think there's one particular thing that you can put on the back of your neck that cools you down, but it's over £100, which at the moment, I'm just thinking it's not causing me that much distress right now to be paying that much money. So I'll keep my eye on things like that, and maybe in the future if it becomes a real problem. And then of course I've talked about complementary therapies. I've done acupuncture, which did make a difference. At the moment I can't. I would say that's probably been the most significant improvement, has been doing the acupuncture for me. But I have read lots of things that if it becomes a real problem, to go back to your doctors, because they can prescribe things, and they do talk about antidepressants having some impact, but that's up to you whether you think that's something that you want to do. I think for me, I probably wouldn't do that unless it became so problematic that I needed to go to the doctor. I will talk to my oncologist when I go for my final sign off in a few weeks that it is quite bad in the evenings at night, and it's quite tricky at work, but I think that I'm more likely to probably just deal with it and probably look at it in a more positive light by sort of seeing it as tropical moments than maybe taking any medication for it. And there's lots of herbal remedies that you can see online if you put in a Google search for hot flushes, but I believe that really with chemotherapy treatments particularly, you shouldn't be taking any herbal remedies without talking to your oncologist and breast cancer nurses first. So I'd be a bit wary of doing anything without getting that advice. But I've decided that, if that is the only really bad side effect that I've had all the way through this treatment, it's a small price to pay. And I think that, just working through those moments, it will stop, it will end. I'm hoping sort of I'll start to see a difference maybe in sort of 12 months' time. A lot of my friends that have taken Tamoxifen have seen that difference, so I'm really hoping that it will just disappear, as would menopause symptoms eventually, but we'll wait and see. So that's the end of my video on hot flushes. It is actually going to be the last video that I do in this series. I will also be closing the Facebook page for a couple of weeks and just giving it a little bit of a revamp, really starting to bring out more of the coaching side of of this YouTube journey, if you like. So it's going to be moving into a new series of coaching advice, but within that there's going to be some tips on nutrition, exercise, and also mindfulness will be coming in, and some good books to read, some things that you can do at home to help you through a changing experience that you're having, because of what I've been through over the last 9 months is what we're actually going through at the moment, and globally with the coronavirus, the same kind of chapters that I've been through, the world is going through right now. And I feel like you know, there's some really great things that I've identified that I feel can help people going through major change, and creating a more resilient way of being, and actually getting to a point where you are living the best life that you possibly can. So that's going to come in the beginning of June. So I'm going to have a little break for a couple of weeks now, and I'll see you all at the start of June. Thanks a lot. Bye.